professional. Give them what they ask for. It's not enough.
You're right, Kendrick. It's not enough. Because you think Bam Adebayo would have been able to attack like that all game, but no. He waited until he was shooting 2 of 13 and the Miami Heat were down over 20 points in the fourth quarter to the Boston Celtics before he realized that Luke Cornett cannot guard him. And speaking of Luke Cornett, by the way, my Luke Cornett Funko Pop just came in the mail, as you can see right here. Oh, wait a minute. That says Hakeem Olajuwon, which is exactly how Bam Adebayo made Luke Cornett look yesterday. Seriously, Luke Cornett had 6 blocks, was unstoppable on the offensive end. Now, I know the box score won't tell you that Cornett outperformed Bam, but this is not just me being pessimistic. If you watched the game, you could see it was true. Bam looked like a liability out there. He really did. And I love Bam Adebayo. Even as my guy Brendan Tobin, one of the most optimistic Heat fans out there, even he admitted that Bam got outplayed by Luke Cornett. And the unfortunate part is this is a continuing trend of something we've seen all season of Bam not being aggressive and not attacking centers that he should have a mismatch against. For example, whether it's Domantas Sabonis or Jusuf Nurkic or Nikola Jokic, Jakob Poeltl, those are all big, lumbering, slow-footed centers that Bam should be able to dominate. And I understand those are good players, so even if you don't want to count them, fine. But take a guy like Taj Gibson, 40-year-old bum Taj Gibson, who hasn't been good in 12 years. Last time that Taj Gibson was good, Derrick Rose's knee still worked. That's how long ago it was. And against Taj Gibson, just a week ago, Bam Adebayo took 8 shots and was 3 for 8. That's embarrassing. It really, really is. So what the hell happened to Bam Adebayo? Because after this past game versus the Boston Celtics, I officially think that he's hit his rock bottom, and I don't know when he'll get out of it. Now, I want to start off by saying I think he will, because the sample size of Bam Adebayo being good is much better or much bigger than the sample size we have of him being bad. I think last season, Bam was very good offensively. I believe he averaged like 19 points a game. Now, we've always had these aggressiveness issues. Of course, that's always been a question surrounding Bam Adebayo, but he seemed to eliminate that last year, at least as the season progressed. He was getting to his mid-range game. He was working out of the post a little bit. He was looking to attack a smaller mismatch. But for some reason this season, it all went away. And something that makes it even more concerning is he just signed that max extension. People are saying it's another Hassan Whiteside situation, and I love Hassan Whiteside. Y'all know that. But post-contract Hassan Whiteside was an embarrassment. And it's sad that we're even putting Bam Adebayo in the same realm as that. Because it looked like Hassan Whiteside only cared about stats and the money, but you can't say that about Bam Adebayo. At least not from what the culture carriers are saying. It was Dwayne Wade. It was Alonzo Mourning, Spoelstra, Pat Riley. All of those guys anointed Bam as the next culture carrier. They passed the torch to him. And those guys are not saying that Bam embodies Heat culture if he's a lazy guy that's just chasing the bag, if he's a fat cat. But so far, that's kind of what it looked like. And the money's a lot, right? I mean, this season, he's still making the same as his rookie extension. It's at $35 million. Next season, he'd be making $37. And then it's the year after that where his max veteran extension kicks in, which would be in the year 2026 at the age of 39 or 29. Bam would be making $51 million. And then the following season, it's going to be $55 million. And then he'll have a player option at 31 years old for almost $60 million. If this is the Bam Adebayo that we're getting, I've heard people disrespect him by calling him Ozempic Draymond Green. I've also heard people call him Josh McRoberts on steroids. Both of those are extremely disrespectful to Bam, but fitting at this point. And if that's the Bam Adebayo that we're going to be getting throughout this extension, this Heat team is in even way more trouble than they currently in, which is under 500 pushing the second apron. So they're not in a great spot as it is, but Bam was supposed to be the guy that we could rely upon. But his numbers so far this season haven't been great. And I've kind of been hesitant to make this video because I wanted to give it a fair enough sample size. But at the time of this recording, it's been 19 games. That's nearly a quarter of the season. And Bam just said after his last game that's, give him some slack, I guess, because you're not going to have a great game every game. I understand that. That's very true. That's why I don't like to come on here after every video and completely write guys off if they have a bad game, because it happens. I don't think Tyler Hero was great versus Celtics, but he's shown enough of sample size to me this season that shows, hey, that kid has taken a step. But with Bam Adebayo, his numbers are terrible this season. I'll put the numbers up right here for you. You see last season, he was at 19 points and 10 boards, shooting 52% from the field, and he was 35% from three, but that was on 0.6 attempts. So he wasn't really attempting them too much last season until the end of the season. But look at the field goal percentage. 52% is awesome. For a big man that's taking jump shots, we know Bam Adebayo was pretty reliant on that mid-range game last year, so shooting 52% is great. I'd say at his position, he shouldn't be under 50 at all. I understand he is taking more jump shots than a lot of centers, so if he wants to hover around 49, 50, I get it. But what he cannot do is shoot the 42% that he is this season. And the field goal attempts are relatively the same. So if you want to talk about his aggressiveness, I guess from a shot attempt standpoint, it's been the same. But if you're watching Bam Adebayo, it doesn't look like he's looking to attack at all. And that's the Bam Adebayo that we were talking about 2+ seasons ago. And for some reason, he's reverted to that. And I can't explain it. You saw Bam in the Olympics. His confidence was as high as ever. He was the leading scorer in multiple games on a team that had Curry and LeBron and KD. Bam was leading them. And now you got him shooting 42% from the field, under 16 points per game, almost a 4-point drop-off from where he was last season. Now, I do like that the assists are up to almost 5. He's still averaging almost 10 boards a game, so I understand he's doing other things out there. And I've always said the sign of a great player is that when their shot is not falling, they're able to do other things. But that's on a game-to-game basis. If you're having a bad game shooting the ball, get me 10 rebounds, get me 8 assists. Don't average those numbers and be terrible offensively the whole season. Now, this is a good point to bring up again, that Bam Adebayo is one of the best defenders in the entire NBA. I like to argue he is the best, outside of maybe that alien in San Antonio. But anyways, I understand Bam is a great player because he is elite at one side of the ball. But now he is getting paid as a max player, so there is no excuse to lack this much on the offensive side of the ball. I understand that there's some other things not going his way. One of the biggest rebuttals to that, or excuses they'll give Bam, is they'll saying the team is not built great around him. They'll say he doesn't have a true point guard. They'll say he's doing too much out there because he's the only person with some size. And I 1,000% agree with that. That's one of the reasons I was campaigning so hard for Trae Young. I guarantee you if you had Trae Young on this team, that would unlock Bam's full potential. And Bam will be averaging damn near 24 points per game if you had Trae Young. I really believe it. To have a guy that could set up an offense for a center. We saw Clint Capella score 15 points a night with Trae Young. What the hell you think Trae Young would do with Bam? And that's also why I've been campaigning to maybe start Khalil Ware. Or they should have spent this offseason finding some center that could play next to Bam Adebayo. Because Bam needs to be out there either with another big man or playing the 4 spot. Because Bam is so elite defensively that he's guarding 1 through 5 on the other team. He's locking down Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, you name it, Bam is locking them down. But what good is Bam locking down the other team's best player if when he forces a miss, the opposing center just gets an easy rebound and putback? Because time and time again, we're seeing Bam go out there on the perimeter, and it's all for nothing. Easy layup inside for the other big man. Offensive rebound after offensive rebound. Getting dominated by bums of the league just because they're bigger than us. And a lot of that's on Eric Spoelstra. Because he tried to play Caleb Martin at the 4. You had years with PJ Tucker at the 4. Now you got Haywood Highsmith at the 4. And it's not working. And they are not trying anything new. We saw Kevin Love at times, but he's a bit too old to play consistently anymore. We've seen Nikola Jovic, and now he's suddenly out of the rotation after, I think, playing really well. Had that game winner versus Minnesota, had a couple great games after that, broke the nose, and now he can't play anymore. You got a 6'10 guy who can shoot on the bench, not even playing. I can't explain it. You spend a first-round pick on Khalil Ware, who's an athletic 7-foot freak who dominated the Summer League, and he can't get any minutes. Spo's out there playing Thomas Bryant, who doesn't even want to play like a center. He's out there bricking threes left and right. I don't understand it. And that's just from the rotational standpoint of Erik Spoelstra. I think Spo's new coaching methodology is also ruining Bam Adebayo. Because last season, Bam was dominant in the mid-range. I think he was very good there. Maybe not dominant. That's sort of what Chris Bosh was, and Bam wasn't quite there yet. But Bam was very, very solid in that mid-range. But all offseason, we've heard Spoelstra say, we're going to eliminate the mid-range. We're going to do layups and threes because that's what the analytics say. And I think by doing that, he's eliminated almost all of Bam's offensive game. So instead of Spo trying to find a way to work in more three-pointers to keep up with the pace of the league, but also allowing Bam to feel comfortable in his mid-range, he just said, get rid of it altogether. And now Bam Adebayo's out there second-guessing every time he takes a shot. You can see it. He's hesitant to pull up in the mid-range. He's hesitant to do that little floater from the dotted line. Now, I'm not giving Bam a pass, like I said early in this video, because I think some of it's on Spo, but a lot of it is also on Bam Adebayo and his confidence, because he's still getting the same amount of shot attempts that he was last season. He's just not finishing them. He lost his touch completely, and I can't explain why. I don't like his body language. I don't like how every time he misses a shot, he goes or puts his head down like this, because I also think that it's starting to potentially affect his defense as well, because he's not the same defender that he was last year, although he still is elite. You're starting to see it sort of bleed over. You should not put your head down every time you miss, because that's how you get in your head. And I don't know what it is with the touch. I can't explain it. I mean, seriously, there was a game versus the Raptors. He missed his easy floater shot, got the rebound, went up to dunk, missed the dunk. When you're doing things like that, you're in your head. And I kind of just think he needs to shoot his way out of the slump. I think as someone who's a very high-level basketball player, the highest level I played is like pickup basketball at the rack. But as someone who plays a lot of basketball, I know what it's like getting into a shooting slump. I just think you got to shoot yourself out of it. And I think he's being scared to do it. You're seeing these guys play drop coverage on him. Brook Lopez is another guy. They're backing off him 6-7 feet. And Bam is not shooting a lot of those mid-range shots. I said he's at 14 points per game. That's what he's been at the last few years. I want to see him get up to 20, especially when Jimmy Butler has not been out there for a lot of the season. He's hurt again now with the knee. He's questionable Wednesday versus the Lakers. We'll see what happens. But point is, Jimmy's missed some time out there. We've seen Jimmy play and look like he doesn't care. Like in that Hornets game where Jimmy took 2 shots and Bam took 8. If Bam's going to be the max guy, he needs to be the guy that step up. We're seeing Tyler Hero do it. It's time for Bam Adebayo to start to do it too. But that's really all I got to say for this video. It's been very concerning with Bam. I'm hoping he turns it around. He's got a golden opportunity versus Anthony Davis on Wednesday. If Bam can't get up for Anthony Davis, I don't know who he's going to get up against. I do want to finish by saying, though, that I believe in Bam Adebayo. I think he will turn around, and I don't think it's a skill thing. I think it's a confidence thing and a mentality thing. And sometimes all you need is to string together 2 or 3 good games in a row just to completely break that. But let me know y'all thoughts down below. Do you think it's mostly a skill thing with Bam Adebayo? Do you just think he's not that good offensively? Do you think he's Draymond Green and Heat fans are just asking for too much? Or do you think he's got a huge mental roadblock right now that he's trying to work through? And once he does, he'll get back up to the 20 points per game that we saw last season. I'll be very curious to hear what you think down below, so make sure to leave your comments. I'll be reading every single one. Like and subscribe, because I'm on the grind to hit 6K subs. And I'll see you after the Lakers game tomorrow. So peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city trying to get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.